Hey, Ram fans, Mark from Rams Up here. Been a pretty depressing week or 10 days for LA Ram fans. The exodus continues. A lot of good players moving on. Ashawn Robinson apparently visiting the New York Giants as I speak. So, where do the Rams go for 2023? They're obviously building for 2024, clearing up cap space in 2024 at the expense of this year's roster, taking it on the chin in 2023. But is this team really going to take it on the chin on the field? And I'm going to appoint myself as the president of the This Is Not a Doomsday Year for the Rams Club. Let's walk through this roster and see if I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Could very well be. But let's look at we'll start with the quarterback groups here. The quarterback group, how does this group look? We won a Super Bowl with this group, basically, right? Matthew Stafford, Perkins, and Wolford. I have a feeling one of those two guys, Perkins, Wolford, may come back. I think the Rams use a late round pick on a quick study to be the new backup. But this group were okay. A lot of people banging on Stafford. What a horrible year he had. I think there's some extenuating circumstances, right? I think he's a fine quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. So there you have that. Running back group, Cam Akers, he's a free agent next year. I think this is his last year for the Rams, and I think he can be a perfectly fine quarterback for this offense if the offensive line has their act together. I think we'll find someone to add to this group in this year's draft, fifth rounder later. We need to figure it out for next year, that's for sure. Kyren Williams, not an NFL starting running back from what I've seen. Good guy to have on the roster, though. Good change of pace, good backup. And then there's Ronnie Rivers. I think this group is okay for 2023, given that we add a fifth round pick or so. Next year, may have to reshape this group a little bit. The wide receiver group, remove Kupp, and it's a little scary with Kupp. I wish we had a dynamic, vertical, big wide receiver. Kind of sounds like I'm describing Van Jefferson, but I'm really not. A guy like Trey Palmer in the draft this year, really like him. OBJ was really the difference that put this group from being pretty good with Kupp to really good. And with Robinson possibly moving on, I have him penciled in as a backup. I don't know what to do with him. But I think our starters right now would be Kupp, Jefferson, and Atwell. Atwell showed signs of life late last year. Jefferson, he's a fine receiver, but he's a free agent next year. My prediction is they use a mid to late round pick on a wide receiver this year. Next year, they could use that first round pick on a wide receiver. That would be my guess, but that's a long ways off. The tight end group. Remember, we won a Super Bowl with Kendall Blanton and Bryson Hopkins. Tyler Higbee, he could be cut later this year with a significant cap savings, but maybe they just keep him around. He'll be a free agent next year. This will be his last year with the Rams for sure. He could already be on the way out the door. Then we got Bryson Hopkins and Hunter Long, the guy we picked up from Miami in the trade. I'm okay with this group. It's not a great group. It's okay. Could it be improved? Absolutely. And this draft is stacked with tight ends. Maybe one of them will slip to the fourth or fifth round. Rams don't have a fourth round pick, but they'll try to maneuver their way around the draft and pick up a fourth rounder. I also think they'll try to pick up some 2024 picks because, like we've said, it's all about 2024. So let's pump up that draft total in 2024 to give us a lot of flexibility, the potential to move up in the first round. And they're going to have a bucket load of comp picks. Well, the max is 4, and I can almost guarantee you they're going to have 4 next year for sure. I think they've already secured themselves 3, not any high, but probably 2 6-rounders and a 7th rounder from what I've read. But anyways, this group's probably okay for 2023. They'll add a tight end this year, just a matter of how early. McVay used to really love the tight ends, and could he use one of those, a 2nd or 3rd round pick on a tight end with the needs at some of these other positions coming up? Probably not, but man, there are some really talented tight ends in this draft. The offensive line, I bent to the whim of Ram fans, and I plugged Shelton in as our starting center, with Allen as the backup. Not sure if I even agree with that, but let's roll with it for now. From left to right, Noteboom, Jackson, Shelton, Bruss. Hopefully he's got it figured out by now. Rob Havenstein, Bruss had that injury, never set foot on an NFL field in a regular season game. But the Rams liked him, obviously, spent their first pick last year on him, so he could be part of the answer here. And then, our Curry, Allen, Ankrum backups. The question really is Noteboom the answer at left tackle? I think what they're going to do is, remember, Scott Richmond, a guest recently, he said the Rams could do a Whitworth, John Sullivan type move this year in free agency. After the moves they've made and the salary cap room they have next year, they could do that next year. They could bring in a really good free agent left tackle, interior offensive lineman. Not sure who's going to be available quite yet, but that could be the answer in 2024. They'll draft an interior offensive lineman for sure this year. I don't think they can get the answer at left tackle in the draft unless they want to use that first pick. But as you'll see here in a second, I don't know if that's a good plan. Defensive line is kind of like the wide receiver group. You remove Donald, and this is a very mediocre unit. Sorry to say. Really liked how Murchison played. That was a great pickup late in the year. Bobby Brown, hopefully he can get it done. I think the other 3 guys are kind of just guys. Jonah Williams, T.J. Carter, Ernest Brown. Jonah Williams actually played pretty well. Marquise Copeland, probably not coming back. That really surprised me. I think they're going to use a draft pick on this position group. If they bring back Greg Gaines, they could be set. They could be set with this group. They're going to be okay, but not a group that overly concerns me in 2023, especially if Greg Gaines comes back. Now, this group does concern me. Michael Hoyt, defensive lineman, outside linebacker, edge. Call him what you want, but you know what he is. He's a legit NFL player, very productive last year. The Rams obviously love him. The other 2 guys, not sure what we have yet, Hardy and Thomas. The group we had last year started out with Leonard Floyd, Justin Hollins, and Terrell. And now all 3 of them are gone, and we have Hoyt, Hardy, and Thomas. My guess, if I was Les Snead, my first pick in this upcoming draft would be edge, someone like B.J. Ojulari, Will McDonald. There's some other guys too. There's some good edge rushers at the top end of the draft. Who knows who's going to slip to that 36 spot. But this is the type of position you need to draft this year to find out what you got, and that's kind of true of the cornerbacks. We'll talk about them in a second. Inside linebacker, Ernest Jones, and then, I don't know how I feel about this group depth-wise. Rose Boom, Trevin Howard, still an exclusive rights free agent, Jake Hummel, Jake Gervas. We need to add a body here. I don't think we're going to use a high draft pick. I keep on talking about the 4th round. It would be perfect for this position, I think. We don't have the 4th round pick again, but we'll end up with one probably. I'm thinking more likely a 5th round pick. I have early draft pick there. I'm second guessing myself. we need bodies at cornerback, edge and some other spots. So we may wait on inside linebacker. Cross our fingers Ernest Jones stays healthy. And cornerback, Durant, Rochelle, Kendrick, and Jolly, and that's it. Troy Hill still sitting out there. Maybe bring him back. That would ease the urgency a little bit in the draft. But my guess would be 2 cornerbacks in this draft, 2 cornerbacks early. Those first 3 picks, I'm thinking edge, cornerback. The cornerback's another deep group, so you can wait possibly to the 5th round. I'm going to mention the 4th round again. It sounds like I'm telling you they're going to draft 4 guys in the 4th round. Well, they just need to pick themselves up a 4th round pick and use it on one of these positions. That's all I'm saying. Again, cornerback is a position you can learn a lot about these guys in 2023 to find out how bad it is in 2024. How badly you need a player in 2024. But this group right now, we don't have a CB1 on this roster. So look for a guy like DJ Turner from Michigan. There's a few other guys that they're going to target early in the draft, I think. Safety, not that bad. You know, our top 3 guys, I feel good about. Jordan Fuller just needs to stay healthy. I liked Russ Yeast last year, 7th round pick. Played like a 3rd or 4th rounder, in my opinion. Quentin Lake missed the first half of the season. I think he has a lot of potential. He's basically going to be like a rookie coming back next year. And we're going to draft another one. Rams have been very good at drafting safeties late. They've hit on a few of them, and I think they're going to do that again this year. This group's okay, though. You got 3 safeties that I think I'd be comfortable. Any 2 of these as our starters at this point. Yeah, there's a little bit of risk with like how much do we know about him, but I feel confident he's going to be a good NFL player. And remember, you have Jake Gervas as well. He can play safety, apparently. And last but not least, special teams. You know, everybody's gone at this point. Matt Gay and our long snapper Orzek have both signed on with other teams. Riley Dixon could come back, and maybe he will. I think we could improve that position. And Brandon Powell, our primary returner, he's still out there, but I think the Rams have guys on the roster that could fill that role. Do they spend a draft pick on any of these positions? Probably not. The Rams are going to be a magnet for undrafted rookies, special teams guys to come in and try to earn a spot on an NFL roster. So, yeah, they could draft a kicker or a punter, I suppose, but I kind of doubt it. And that is a look through our position group. So obviously there are some concerns, no denying that, especially edge and cornerback. Maybe we bring Greg Gaines back and alleviate that problem. Offensive line, not as bad as people think. If they rolled with the guys they have now, add 1 interior offensive lineman, they could be in okay shape up front, just need to stay healthy. This roster is not a horrible roster. I'm just not buying it. I kind of like where this team is headed long term, short term. Yeah, I'm not telling you they're a playoff team, but don't give up on them. Don't think that they're just going to be 5-12 again. I just don't think it's going to happen. They got that 3rd place schedule. It's going to help a little bit. Rams could make a playoff push this year. Just think Seattle Seahawks last year. They lost Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner, probably their 2 best players, and everybody wrote them off. And what did we learn from them? And remember, the Seahawks drafted 2 cornerbacks last year. I think the Rams are going to copy that, draft 2 cornerbacks very high, and solidify that secondary. Defense will be ready to roll. Rams are going to be okay in 2023. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. Just don't give up on them quite yet out here.